Hello everyone. I welcome you all for today's webinar. We are going to wait for a couple of minutes for others to join and then we'll start. Hello everyone. So we're going to start today's webinar. My name is Shivika. As you know, today's webinar is brought to you by Varthana. Today's topic is a leadership guide, empowering your teachers for a collaborative and inclusive school. In the previous webinar, we have covered about how to create and build and lead team. And in this webinar, we'll be talking about how to build leadership skills in teachers and how help your teachers to lead and take like a lot of responsibilities and different roles in your school, and that will definitely contribute in retention as well. So we'll start with today's agenda, what we'll be covering. So we'll be covering session objective, teacher leadership, what are the characteristics of teacher leadership, its importance, along with some strategies, framework to develop teacher leadership for collaborative learning and development, followed by Q&A, and we'll be focusing on feedback and closing towards the end. So today's objective is to understand the characteristics and importance of teacher leadership, why it's important to have teacher leaders within the school. Also to equip school leaders with different strategies to foster teacher leadership using different framework, which we'll be covering in today's session. And the aim of these framework is to improve student learning outcome, increase teacher retention, and promoting continuous growth. So that is what we'll be covering in today's session. So let's quickly go and understand what is teacher leadership. So before I share it, I would like to hear it from you that what do you understand by teacher leadership? You can share your responses in chat box or Q&A. In the Q&A section, I can take that. Otherwise, you can raise your hand and I'll unmute you from my end. Also, I forgot to share one important piece of information. Please attend the session till end, and then only you'll be able to be eligible for the participant certificates. Also, fill the feedback form towards the end to get that. So, anyone wants to share? What do you understand by teacher leadership? Have you heard this term earlier? Okay, so basically teacher leadership is it's a process in which teacher takes more responsibility beyond the classroom. The responsibility is not only teaching the student or reporting for certain things, it's also taking the ownership in the school, focusing on holistic development, participating holistically in the school, help in improving classroom policies, education policies, practices, selecting the curriculum, a lot of parent engagement, and that will contribute in the school culture. And these they can be different roles they can take up or you can assign them to do the teacher leadership while taking initiative, participating in decision making, driving innovative teaching strategies within the school. They can work on reframing a lot of practices which is there in your school. So basically taking responsibility beyond their teaching job. Maybe taking a role of coordinator, mentoring, guiding others, community building or parent community building. So that is teacher leadership. What are some of the key characteristics? So through the leadership, teacher leadership, a teacher undergo the process of doing a lot of collaboration and teamwork, which is crucial for your school because that will help to do a lot of cross learning. It also focuses on equity and inclusion. Those teachers who have these leadership skills, they try to focus on equality, equity, provide equal opportunity. They're also very flexible and adaptable. They're ready to take new job roles. Even if there is any sudden challenges, instead of panicking, they try to figure out that what they can do, how they can contribute better. And they're aligned with the shared vision and goal setting. So their personal goal is always aligned to the school goal, which will again contribute to school growth. So as a teacher, if I know that maybe improving my communication skill can get some grants for the school, and I can assist the school leader or the coordinator to get that, then that will add a lot of value for the school as well as the teacher. They also empower and do capacity building. So these leaders in the school, these teachers who take up the leadership role in the school, they are themselves empowered. They are open to learn, very flexible, but they also contribute in teaching others. Maybe if you assign them or delegate them any task, they'll be willingly doing it. If you assign them to train other teachers, they'll be doing it. So that will help you to do and lot of your task and do a lot of delegation of your task effectively through these teacher leaders in your school. And they also talk a lot about policy making, their decision, and also take inputs. They also advocate in taking inputs from student parents and try to bring that 360 holistic reflection and feedback in any task, or if there are some policy related changes. They're also very focused on continuous improvement. They themselves take it, and they also try to provide the same opportunity to the other people. And the very student centric goal, their prior aim is to serve the student in best possible way and school in best possible way. So it's very important to have these kind of like characteristics in a teacher, and who are very like dedicated towards the school development and student development and feel aligned with the school goal. So let's understand. We have understood what is teacher leadership. These are some of the characteristics they show, and why it is important for your school. So it definitely enhances the student learning outcome because they're very student centric. They keep on learning, evolving with the technology, integrating the technology in the classroom. They align school goal with the classroom practices. So whatever your school goal is, they try to ensure it and practice the same in classroom. For example, maybe one of your core value of your school is to build integrity and ethics in the student. So these are the teachers who will bring and demonstrate it in their classroom practices, maybe through role play and other things, or and always open towards learning that how they can demonstrate it and include it in classroom practices, and they're always open to go through different trainings for the same. They also support new initiatives taken in the classroom. Like, as I've said, that it's not something which is a task for them. They go beyond their role and serve the school. So they'll be part of creating new community, leading new community, running campaigns around, and that definitely strengthen the relationship, the school leader teacher relationship, and also teacher student relationship, teacher parent relationship. And these relationship are valuable for schools to retain teachers as well as student and parent in long run. It also affect the teacher retention, because if a teacher feels valued, accountable, and have the sense of ownership, definitely that impacts the retention of the teacher. And they are like, in a way, as a school leader, you are preparing them to take future role. If so, for example, you have a coordinator, but what if your coordinator one day suddenly leaves? Then in that case, you have someone to take over those role and responsibility. So in a way, it's also preparing them for future leadership role. So if there would be some case, you can hand over the responsibility to them, and then they'll take over. Also, sometimes you have to create those space for them to take over. Sometimes you have to create some rules to retain them and ensure that your teachers are motivated, satisfied, and being valued, and that's how they'll replicate the sense of ownership from their end. So let's have a quick discussion that what are some of the strategies. Like, we have discussed that school leadership is important. You need to start making your teachers leader and be ready to lead in future, and also provide opportunities to lead currently. So what are some of the strategies you are using in your school to foster a culture of leading, share learning, collaborative learning right now? So you can raise a hand or put it in Q&A section. If anyone wants to share, please go ahead. Yeah. So some of the strategies which we'll be covering, and like, there are a lot of strategies which you can use, but some of, like, we'll be focusing on 3 crucial strategies today, which are easy to do it, and we'll also be talking about that how you can like plan and monitor and execute that. So one is establish a teacher professional community, or PLC, professional learning communities. So please raise your hand if you have any or put it in Q&A section that if you have any professional learning communities or teacher learning communities in your school. Yeah, someone responded that exposing them to trainings, talking about this on regular basis. Yes, that's correct. But we'll be focusing on that how you can have a more structured training for them instead of just doing regular training. If you're focusing on developing a teacher leadership skill, how you can structure that as a school leader. So yes, so PLCs are basically making a group of teachers and assigning some clear goals to them, and asking them to work collaboratively in a team. I'm gonna dig deeper into this on the later stage. The other is offer mentorship and coaching program, provide professional development opportunity through mentorship and coaching program. Teacher leadership development program. You can also offer teacher leadership development program to teachers, some selected teachers, to have a more structured guidance and learning and like sort of figure out learning for them as per their learning need. So establishing teacher professional communities. So what it is, anyone wants to share? I think it's quite easy. It's making a group of teachers or bringing a group of teachers together to like have a lot of collaboration work, to focus on continuous improvement, enhance student learning. By enhancing teachers' learning, give them a task, they'll work it out together, they'll figure it out together. And right now we'll be covering some steps of like how you can establish teacher professional communities. And I'll also be covering some of the guidelines to take care of or to communicate or follow through when you're establishing these teacher professional communities. So first is initiate a group where you define that what you how many people you're going to keep in that PLC, what those groups would be, what would be the focus and targets, what would be the objective, and also sort of monitor it. So initiate that this is the objective and I'm going to form a TPC to achieve and attain that objective. Plan that what this group is going to do, what they'll be focusing on, what they'll be exploring by themselves. Schedule some meetings, implement whatever the goal was, plan it accordingly, schedule some time, implement whatever strategies they have come up with together, monitor what they are doing. Sometimes what happens, and it's commonly seen in school, that there are teacher professional communities, but they're just established there. They're not functioning. They're not well planned. So it's important to monitor whether whatever you have established, a community you have established to accomplish a certain goal, whether it's functioning or not. And it's also important to make it sustainable. Once you have established it, you're not gonna someone who's gonna sit at the top and keep on running it. You have to make it self-sustainable in long run. So the community can start taking responsibility, jobs, some of the tasks with or without you as a school leader being part of it. So that's another goal you should be focusing on. So let's see a simple framework that how these community teacher professional community will work, what action steps can be undertaken. I'm going to just give some examples here and what would be the key outcomes you will be focusing on. So let's start with initiation. You define a purpose, recruit some member who is going to be part of this group, establish some norms and rules that people are following through. It should not be like that there's a group, but nobody is listening to each other. Maybe ensure or establish a norm that there is this active listening, or there's this respect being followed, that if someone is speaking, others are not interrupting. So set some ground rules to do that. And one of the action or first task you can assign is to increase student engagement. So maybe you can have a like group of 10 teachers and ask them to figure out that how as a school you can increase your student engagement strategy or better your student engagement strategy. So the outcome is quite clear here. There's a clear goal that what you're going to work on and then what your group culture is going to be. Planning, set focus area, create agendas. In the beginning of the session, I've created an agenda and share that what we'll be covering in next 1 or 1.5 hours. So it's important to have a clear agenda that, okay, this is a meeting, but what we are going to do in this meeting. Schedule meetings, include people from diverse background. When you're making such communities, just then ensure that, you're also welcoming different perspectives, different understandings, different experiences in it. You can have different teachers from different backgrounds, different expertise. So another thing which we have generally observed in teacher professional communities is generally school don't allocate a proper time. So if you have formed a PLC or TPC, but if you have not allocated certain time to like make the PLC or TPC function, then it's not going to be effective. So ensure that maybe half an hour for every week or for 1 hour, you're assigning and allocating a schedule in your calendar or your teacher's calendar to attend these meetings. Focus on implementation, like conduct meetings, engage in collaborative work, give them collaborative work, ask them to like reflect, sometimes give them a task and ask them to figure it out by themselves. So one of the example can be you can give them to design and refine instructional practices, that is maybe design and recreate the lesson plans, or make the lesson plans more engaging in engagement wise, more engaging. We can also give them that how you can improve the classroom rules and practices. Also, how you can, as a teacher, can come up with better assessment practices, or what other techniques you can use as a teacher to like come up and do better assessment. And as a school leader, you do not have to take up all these responsibility. All you have to do is facilitate that how these teachers are going to figure it out by themselves. You can do it either by yourself or take help from your collaboration. But instead of doing everything by yourself, figuring out how the assessment is evolving or how the technology integration is there, maybe you can, like this teacher leadership, building a professional community will help you to like do a lot of your task, and with lot of learning for your teachers, which will definitely and directly benefit your student. So here the outcome is clear that there would be improvement in instructional strategies. It's important to monitor, maybe assess the progress, collect feedbacks from them, make changes here and there if required. You can take a small survey of this group and see that how they are functioning, what is working, what is not working, and what is the course correction required if there is any, or what bit of deviation in the plan is required if certain things are not working out, and increasing the student engagement. That will help you to measure the impact and also understand the functioning of the teacher professional community, whether it's functioning effectively, what are some of the changes which is required and needs to be done. And at the end, once you have established it, you have made it functional, now you have to also ensure that it's sustainable, it's continuing. Like people have started taking responsibility by themselves. They have also started figuring out objectives and goals by themselves. Once you'll do that, maybe 5 or 10 teachers can come and say that now we want to focus more on parent engagement. That will help us in better fee collection, which will directly again impact to the teachers. So it's important to make it sustainable. So give them opportunity to learn and also do it, practical application of it. So whatever they have learned or come up with, they can pass on the same to the new teachers or teachers who needs that kind of support. Here, the key outcome is again long-term professional growth. So once I am practicing what I have learned, or I'm again resharing what I have learned, is going to be stored in my long-term memory as a teacher, and that will definitely benefit me as a teacher for my professional growth and also school improvement. So especially in private schools, where teacher retention is low, and like there are a lot of teachers who keep on coming and going, making it a sustainable practice is difficult. But once you're able to achieve that, then whatever the attrition rate you're facing, these teachers will be able to keep on training your new teachers effectively. So here we'll be seeing a template to understand some of the guidelines which as a school leader you should follow. As a school leader, you should take care of while establishing these TCP guides. So first of all, I'll be focusing on what are some of the things you should be keeping in your mind and like incorporating in practice when you're establishing it. During the functioning time, when the TPCs are established and now you want to make it function, it's functioning, what are some of the guidelines you need to start with, or also communicate to your teachers, and for sustaining, what are some of the things you should do. So for establishing TPCs, define a purpose and goal. A group without a purpose is not going to achieve anything. Sometimes they brainstorm and come up with excellent ideas, but they always need a direction. So have a very clear vision and objective that what you are looking to achieve for. Maybe you're looking to achieve for example, more enrollment in the coming year. So aligned with your school improvement plan, have focus on student achievement, that okay, my enrollment will increase and my 10th student will perform better, or when my teachers are equipped enough, there's better reputation of my teachers in the community, and we have a group, and we are able to solve problem. So have a very clear purpose and goal, that what you're focusing on, what would be your goal, and what you're focusing to resolve. Identify participants and roles. So identify who are the right people to do it. Like not necessarily everyone would be interested in doing it. Not necessarily everyone will be. It's okay if someone doesn't have skill, but if someone doesn't have will, then it's difficult to teach that person anything. So identify the participants, who is going to lead what, and assign them the role. So they would, and that's way, using this thing or doing this thing, you'll also avoid a lot of conflicts. When clear goals are there, when clear roles and responsibilities are there, then conflicts would be less, and there would be more productivity. Assign different roles, who will be taking notes, who will be taking care of timekeeping, who will be facilitating these TPCs, especially initially. Maybe later on they can start taking it up by themselves, but initially maybe you have to select a leader from them, or your coordinator can lead, or you can do the context setting for them. So before establishing, just ensure that you have these things. Schedule regular meetings. Ensure that you're also planning that how you're going to do it weekly, monthly. Ensure some meetings that are consistent and it's part of your calendar. Provide all the necessary supports, whichever is required. Sometimes you're establishing it, but for example, to do these meetings, the community needs a room, but there's no room available for them to do this. So, it will impact the purpose of creating that community. So ensure that you are providing all the required resources. Also offer professional development, uh, uh, training, or whatever support they require. So for example, you have set up the community, but they need a training in classroom handling, or smart designing, or technology integration. So ensure that you are ready with the resources to provide them those kind of support. The other is functioning guidelines, that once it's established, how you're going to make it function. Set a very clear ground rule. That there would be mutual respect, open communication. There would be a lot of confidentiality which will be maintained. There would be participation from all the members, and all the member will feel heard and respected. Focus on data and evidence, that whatever you are doing or planning to do, it's backed by data, and avoid any biasness, personal opinions, or unsupported strategy. And please communicate the same in the community. So you have to guide them through this. Prioritize collaboration, because through this TPCs, these school teachers are going to learn. And that will only happen when they prioritize collaboration, because then there would be a lot of cross learning which will be happening between them. So encourage sharing ideas, participation, teaching strategies, learning from each other, guiding each other, mentoring each other. So these things, develop an action plan. So when you have established it, when you start functioning it, have a proper plan for 6 months or for a year, that what you guys are going to do. Maybe you can keep on changing and mending these plans as per your requirement, but have some action plan, that what are the issues you are going to focus on. Maybe list down 5 issues and work around it. Assign responsibilities. Monitor the progress. It's important that really review that what the TPCs are doing, how much they're accomplishing that goal. If not, what sort of support is required. And also, it will also help you and the group to reflect and do the course correction, or refine the goal as per requirement. Also ensure accountability. Sometimes a task is given to someone, but whether it's getting fulfilled or not, you have to seek the accountability. And don't forget to celebrate the success, because to keep this TPCs motivated, indulge in learning and growth, it's important to recognize and celebrate their successes. Sustaining guideline, build a culture of trust. So if you're expecting your teachers to like give their time beyond the classroom or learn and contribute, there would be some of them will be willing to do it. But if you want to enhance it, you have to build a culture of trust. If you want more and more teachers to be participative in these TPCs and contribute, then a culture of trust is going to help you. Ask them for the honest feedback, give and take constructive criticism. Do not take those criticism personally. And always remember the person is talking about the situation and not you as an individual. So ensure that to sustain it in long run, or to ensure that the group is functioning with or without you, have this culture of trust. Offer continuous learning opportunity, because at one point things will get exhausted, the task will get exhausted. The constant motivation of learning and doing things together, practicing and evolving is gonna keep them part of the group for a longer duration. So that's there. Also evaluate and adapt. So evaluate, constantly evaluate, whatever they are learning and practicing. Are they going out and implementing the same in the classroom? Focus on some of the structured and also keep on changing it as per the school need. So these are some of the guidelines which you can take care of while establishing and making TPCs functional. So let's come to the next strategy. But before we go and talk about that, I would like to hear it from you. That do you have a mentor, and what contribution has a mentor made to your leadership journey? So you can share it in Q&A section, or you can raise your hand and share. Do you have a mentor? Any of you? It can be any person, not necessarily the person has to be from your school. It can be your friend, colleague, someone you feel is a role model for you. Okay, so I'll share my experience here. Not had one. Okay, thank you. So I do have a mentor. Like I have been working for quite a long time, but I still believe that mentorship can guide you, and it's something which can help you to think differently without biasness, judgment, and you would not be fearful in front of this person. And sharing what you're feeling, and there's a lot of confidentiality which is being followed in mentorship and coaching. So it's important to have a mentorship. And in my like the mentor I have, the person is contributing a lot in like my life journey, personally and professionally. So I'm going to launch a poll here to understand that, do you agree that guidance from a mentor or a third person uh, can accelerate your skill development? I'm going to launch a poll here to understand. Sorry, before that, someone has responded that I guess guessing, laying the path for future. Yes. Sometimes we are stuck at one point and don't know where to go, but your mentor can guide you through that, what next steps you can focus on, by making you understand that what are the needs you are lacking, or what are some of the things you are good at, or what are other things you can work on together. Course correction, focus, giving content to. Uh, you cannot keep teachers always motivated. You have to ensure that you're creating a space where they feel motivated. That's their responsibility to be motivated, but you can create that environment and provide the necessary support to do that. But keeping everyone motivated always is not something you'll be able to do it. But yeah, most of the time you can do it. So just focus on creating that environment where they feel valued, respected. There's a scope of opportunity, fair compensation, like growth. Everything is there. Then a lot of motivation will come from there. And for everyone, motivational factor is different. So you can figure that out, what is working for your teachers. So I'm going to launch a poll here to understand that do you agree that mentor guidance is important? accelerate your skill development? Just everyone to please vote. I have got some votes. So thank you for your votes. Most of you have agreed that it's important. So in today's world, we can learn a lot from technology. There's a lot of content out there, but learning from somebody's experience of learning from another human being, as it definitely contributes a lot in your skill development and your overall development. So I'm gonna talk about that what teacher mentorship program is. So it's a structured program where you can like design and pair one of your teacher or more than one of your teacher with like experienced people in your school. Those who think so. For example, I am a maths teacher, and there's this communication teacher. There's this English teacher. So I'm good at my math skills and all, but when it comes to like doing problem solving, I'm not able to communicate the same in English to my students, and that's the thing they understand. So maybe I can take help from the English teacher or the communication teacher to improve my communication skills and deal and that will help me, and that like the teacher can be my mentor. Or maybe for example, there's 4 or 5 new teachers who have just joined. They're not aware of the school culture. They're not very well versed with taking the classroom or managing the classrooms. Their pedagogies are not refined. Their instructional practices are not refined. So you can also pair them up. So it's an initiative to pair a person with another person. And mentorship is mostly one-on-one basis. Like, do not try to do in school context mostly. It's more effective when you're doing on one-on-one basis. That a person will be able to delegate like a lot of time, guidance, support, and provide professional development, or at least help to design a professional development path. So it's a we'll be covering about some of these stages in teacher mentorship program. So it's important to onboard. So this is something again you should like pick some teacher who needs this mentorship program. Either these teacher can be those who need some sort of hand holding, or it can be those who have already achieved at a level and there's this capacity or potential to go beyond that. So if you feel that there's this teacher and the teacher has excelled in the teaching and is ready to take maybe the coordinator role or vice coordinator role or associate coordinator role. So in that case, you can also offer this mentorship program to these kind of teachers. So it's not always for those who need some to learn some of the new things. It's also for someone who has excelled in the role and is ready to take up the next opportunity. So schedule on board who you'll be focusing on, who will be pairing with whom, what would be the duration of it, schedule it, what would be the meeting timing and observation timing and all. Do a classroom observation because as a mentor or as a coordinator, once you understand that what are the needs, what the teacher is good at, and what are some of the gaps, then only you'll be able to like guide or assign a right mentor. So for example, as a coordinator, if I'm unaware, or as a school leader, I'm unaware that my XYZ teacher needs support in decision making, so I may end up assigning the person to someone who is not very good at decision making. So it's important to observe, make a recording of it, and then see whether whom I should be assigning as a mentee. So for example, if I'm like as if I'm focusing on learning high presentation skill, but if my mentor is someone who is not equipped with the skill, then it's difficult. So it's important to have a proper classroom observation, record those observations, understand and analyze what are some of the strength, what are some of the areas of development, what are some of the priorities or focus areas you would want to want the teacher to focus on during the mentorship program, and assign a mentor accordingly and communicate the same with the mentor. Professional development is important. Once you have observed, put the person through the professional development program, ensure and communicate the need to the mentor, ensure that there is this mentor-mentee slot is allocated, the training is going on, there's a lot of reflecting activities, the discussion and other things are happening. And that's how like a teacher can themselves start looking for different courses for professional development guided by the mentor, and also ensure to evaluate and recognize that okay, there's this mentorship program you have put a person through for developing a certain skill or maybe 2-3 skills. By the end of the mentorship program, it's not gonna be there forever. Like, you cannot assign one mentor and the person is gonna continue for next 5 years. Maybe once one skill is achieved, you can assign another mentor. But it's important to evaluate that what is the progress, for how long that mentorship can go, whether it's effective or not, and also recognize how much the teacher have progressed. So you can also like have a teacher mentorship program and offer it to some of your teachers. A sample framework would be onboarding, as I've said, that you pair a mentor-mentee, establish some goals. So the goal can be support new teacher, or foster leadership skill, or develop like problem-solving skills. Some of the key outcome would be clear expectation and strong relationship. Here, the expectations is clear that the mentorship program is to achieve this certain skill set. Schedule a meeting or check-ins in between. So even if you have established and assign a mentor, just keep a regular check-in. Ensure that there's a meeting between them as well, and also once with you in a month or so. So to ensure support and professional development, classroom observation, this is also I've covered that it's important to have a classroom observation and feedback session to understand. And this is a continuous process you should follow. Professional development, provide training. So once you have observed the classroom, you have assigned the mentor, your mentor can continue with guiding and assigning some of the training, providing some of the resources, sharing experiences, some intense brainstorming discussions they can indulge in, and that will enhance the skill and instructional strategies and other skills of the teacher. Collect feedback from the mentor and mentee both. It's important to hear from both the side and celebrate the achievement once they have progressed in the skill they wanted to achieve, and also take some feedback from the mentor that how was the experience for him or her. And this will also keep them motivated, or like again indulging them for something beyond the classroom. So here I'm gonna share a template with you that how you can record it. What are some of the things you should be doing in the mentorship program? So I have a participant detail, list out who's on board, some of the people, who are these people, who is going to be the mentor, a detailed record of it, also responsibilities, that will be doing what. So if there's a participant, have a very clear understanding of the task, that you have to undergo the development plan as defined by your mentor. Like you have to download all the materials and keep it safe for the future. So I have a very clear guideline that as a mentee, what are some of the things as you have to do. Document mentoring session and key learnings, whatever you're learning, ensure that you're documenting it. That would be again a use in future. As a mentor, your mentor has to take session as per the defined timelines, ensure sufficient support is given to the participants. So this would be some of the responsibility of the mentor. And as a school leader, your task is to find a mentor and mentee, or as a coordinator, or you can assign it to your coordinator. Ensure to evaluate and document the progress month on month basis. So it should not be like that you have assigned a mentor, or you have figured out a skill set which the teacher needs to work on, but you're not progressing, whether it's an progress or not. You're not observing and having proper data to ensure that it's functioning. So do a classroom observation, as I've said, that once you have decided who's going to be part of it, when that is going to happen, for which duration, have an observation checklist. So here I'm going to share a checklist which you can have while observing. So you can see the instructional leadership, how the teacher is demonstrating understanding of the curriculum and subject matter, what is whether the teacher is clearly communicating the objectives or not, or focusing on the broader school goals or not. Teacher is modeling effective and innovative teaching strategies or not. Other section you can be focus on student engagement. How's the teacher student engagement? Whether the students are actively participating, whether the teacher is teaching or not. When teacher is teaching or the students are not participating effectively, whether teachers are encouraging the student leaders for leadership or role or not. Is the teacher only teaching or also building different skills in students? Are students given opportunities to collaborate? So just do observation of that also. How's the classroom culture? Is it inclusive or not? Whether the teacher is focusing on only delivery or again building positive mindset and resilience in student. Communication and influence, that how the teacher is communicating, influencing, inspiring and motivating student and the colleagues. And other is professionalism and leadership, how professionalism is being demonstrated by the teacher in taking class or within the school, whether the teacher is taking different initiative or not, modeling leadership behavior by themselves or showing some leadership skill or have this willingness of doing it, the teacher following the professional standards or not. Because if we are choosing a wrong person for the mentorship program, it may end up not utilizing or underutilizing the resources you're going to apply to accomplish this. Use data and reflection, that which teacher is using what, doing what support is required. So always have a proper data. Use student assessment or progress to identify some of the needs and improvement area, because if you only observe teacher and not observe student, it would be limited. You also have to see that, okay, a teacher knows certain things, is the person, he or she is able to deliver the same in the classroom. Mentorship and peer support, is this person someone who is willing to take up future mentorship role if I give that person mentorship role at this point, how much they're being supportive of their other peers. And at the end, you can have a post-observation reflection of mentor-mentee, that what are some of the strengths you have observed? What are some of the opportunities, growth areas a school the mentee has to develop? And you can sit and discuss a plan with with the mentor and communicate it to the mentee, that, okay, this is what we have observed. This is some of the good things you are doing. These are some things you need to improve. And these are some of the action steps or strategies you can work on to achieve that. So once the mentor will be the person to take it ahead from there. So if you are doing this, you'll also you're also building future mentors repository for your school, who will be able to guide other people as well. So once you do it, once you have the observation checklist, ensure that this is being followed, and then give this progress tracking, that when is the mentorship session was taken. It's important to monitor it. What was the discussion point? What your mentee has learned? So this is needs to be filled by the mentee after the mentorship session. And any task completed before the session, what is the plan for the next session? Mentee learning and development. So here is overall view that what they have discussed and what they have learned. Here now the detailed application of the learning. So the mentee has to record, okay, my teacher have told me, my mentor has told me how to do conflict resolution in the classroom. So in the classroom, next time when I'm seeing something as a teacher, how I'm ensuring or bringing attention back to me as a teacher, and maybe trying to create a space where two people can talk and resolve their conflict, creating and doing a lot of positive reinforcement, trying to bring and show the other person perspective when there's some conflict arrived in the classroom. So whatever I have learned, whether I have applied it in my job or not. So the person, the mentee, has to also record that okay, I have learned some of these skills to handle conflicts, whether I have applied it in my classroom or not, and what I have learned when I am applying it. So it's important to track and progress. So after this session, you will be getting access to all the templates I'm showing it to you, and you can utilize the same with your teachers, and ensure that there's this mentorship program happening in your school that will help you to build teachers and be ready for future leadership or current leadership roles. So here, this is a mentor remark that what is the month, what is the progress, observation a mentor is doing. Like some of the remarks on note progress for the school leader or coordinator to follow through would be filled by the mentor. So you can have you can use the structure and have your own mentorship program in your school. So I'm going to launch another poll here. Sorry, just give me. Yeah, so I'm going to launch another poll here. Uh, so I have launched a poll. So I want you to we have covered about the establishing a community where they can learn in a community, having one-on-one guidance and mentorship program. But what about leadership development program? How important do you think it is to have a leadership development program? Because right now what we have covered is a group-led program and then our individual led program, which would be a mentor. But what about having a proper leader development program for your school that would be led by one or two person or a group of people? But what do you think? Is it important, not important, very important? Okay. So most of you have responded that it is important to have a leadership development framework in your school. So I want you to maybe just quickly go in Q&A section and tell me that do you have one? Do you have a leadership development program in your school for your teachers? Okay. So even if in case you don't have the next, I'm going to launch another poll here for you to reflect and share that what do you think are the primary benefits for teacher leadership program in your school? Individual development I'm talking about. Developing teacher leadership program, if you're developing any such program, what would be the benefit for your school? You can opt for more than one option, sir. So I'm going to launch the responses here. Only two people have voted. I'll request everyone to please vote. So yeah, most of you have said that it's important. It's important to have a teacher development, developing teacher leadership in school, but you do not have a teacher leadership development framework for your school, right? If anyone have, please let me know in Q&A section. I would like to hear it from you that what sort of teacher leadership development program you have in your school. So let's see and understand a teacher leadership development program. You can develop it as per your school need. That's why here I'm going to cover only a framework. So it's a structured approach of identifying. So earlier you didn't have a proper identification. So here it would be a in-depth interview or observation to identify that what are some of the needs, cultivate and support the teacher and leadership role. So it would be transitioning of a teacher and leadership role through various support, provide a proper roadmap. So in this teacher mentorship program, the roadmap is mostly defined by the mentor or the mentee. So here it would be more of a holistic 360 feedback, and roadmap would be provided for the teacher to enhance their skill, assume leadership responsibilities, and also practice and given the role and responsibility to take the leadership role. So the opportunities would be created for the teacher to demonstrate the teacher leadership role, and here the teacher can take the mentorship role. So some of the stages which you can focus on, some of the stages in the framework you need to focus on is need assessment and goal setting. So here you'll have a specific goal that, okay, you do a need assessment. I'm going to come to that how you can do the need assessment. I have a proper goal that, okay, these are some of the areas of development. These are some of the things which we'll be focusing on. How you're going to learn the skill, I'll be providing the opportunity, resources and everything as a school leader, or maybe I'll assign someone who will be able to do that. There would be mentorship and coaching to lead this development program, and mostly coaching. Practical application, as I've said, it's not only learning something, it's also applying, taking the responsibility and demonstrating the learning. And we all know that learning by doing is the best way to learn a skill, and followed by reflection and feedback. So here some of these stages is need assessment and goal setting. Recognize the teacher with the potential. Again, this is not something which you're going to open for everyone. You have to recognize who the person would be, who will be willingly taking this program seriously, and it's worth investing the resources and time in that particular teacher. So for example, if you know our teacher is not serious enough and only there for 2-3 months or for a year, then putting a lot of resources there is may turned up to be wastage of your resources. So you can recognize these teacher based on your observation, their past performances, their current performances, their ability to grow in future. Some of the key outcomes: awareness of the leadership candidate, that you know that for whom you're going to develop it, and it's going to be focused on the individual needs. Skill development: define the leadership goals, like what leadership role you would want them to take in future, or what leadership skill they are focusing on learning in future. Discuss among them yourself, and then come to that conclusion. Find a person who can coach and mentor and provide support throughout. It can be pairing up with the experienced leader or the coordinator. Strengthen confidence and leadership skill once there would be proper guidance, as we have covered in previous slides that guidance is quite crucial, and our structured guidance can be helpful. Focus on practical application, provide and offer opportunities to practice it in real world and give real world experiences. Reflection and feedback, evaluate the experience and identify areas of improvement. So always have this loop of continuous growth and development by reflection, feedback, evaluation. So let's see the template here, which you can follow, that how you can assess the need and process. So I'm gonna show a template here again. So again, you can have all the basic participant details, establish and clarify the responsibility, that will be responsible for what. Assess the current skill of the person. So as a teacher, you are adaptable. As a teacher, you have student focused approach. You have good influence on students and other peers. Your planning and organizing skill is maybe not that effective. So sit with your teacher and discuss this, that what are some of the current skills which they should have as a teacher and where they are standing there. So you can rate it on the scale of 1 to 5, where green is strength and yellow is acceptable, needs development. And here you can see it's highlighted in the same way. You can use the same framework or use this as a reference and develop your own framework. So once you know that what a teacher is doing in their current role, now you want them to be ready for a coordinator position or associate coordinator position. So what are future skills the person will be needing? So maybe the as a coordinator, the person will need to do coaching with other teachers, will be able to collaborate, student focus, decision making. So here again, you can highlight that what are some of the skills you want to focus for future development. What are some things which is required for future, and the so problem solving skill, the teacher is already good at it, right? So just see that what are some of the skills which the person needs to learn to take up the future role as a coordinator, and like which are the skills which they are already good at, and others they need guidance. So people skill, again, building relationship with teacher, other peer colleague, it's good. So this is not maybe a area you need to focus on. And then there's this skill rating by coordinator after intervention. So this is a plan that, okay, this is the current position skill requirement for future role. These are the skill a person needs, and these are the already existing skills, and some other ones which is marked in red as something which needs focus. So you have a clear goal now. Then that there are certain things a person is good at, but definitely need to focus on coaching, team leadership, communication skill, verbal mostly, planning, multitasking, and time management. From the current position, you can focus on this. So now you know you have assessed the skill, you have assessed what are the future requirements. Now you can have this discussion and ask the person, fill this, that what are the key strengths of the like the person, the participants who's going to be part of this individual development program. What are some of the improvement areas where the person wants to go? So maybe you want to give them a coordinator position, but the person doesn't want a coordinator position. The person may want to be the principal. So understand the career aspiration and what they have thought about their future role and all. Have an action plan. It would be divided in 3 parts. That is, put them on training and development, give them responsibility, and mentor them. So earlier it was only mentoring. Here you will be putting them in a proper structured training and development program, assign them responsibility to do certain tasks, and then also keep on getting the mentorship side by side. So here again, I'm going to show you a sample plan, that is training, responsibility, opportunity, and mentoring. So have a proper training and development. So now it's clear from the previous slide that some of the goals are coaching, team building, communication, planning, and multitasking. So here you can focus on one thing at a time. You have a proper plan and ask the person to like undergo those training. Set up this plan, language skill, what sort of classes or what the person has to do as part of training, or take online classrooms. The person needs to learn and figure this out by themselves or with the help of the mentor, or use the online resources and complete it by January. Progress is completed, done, not started, areas covered, what the person has learned. So all you're doing is mostly defining what they have to do, what are some of the methods they can use, and they have to do it by themselves or with the help of someone. Or you can also keep some training sessions for them, but not necessarily you have to do everything for themselves. You can also guide them through the process. English for career development, again, you can ask them to do some online certification course, watch some videos and come back, read some books, assign some courses and games to learn that. This is something I expect my teacher to undergo by March. What is the progress area covered? Again, time management. I can maybe ask the teacher to enroll in an online certification course as a coordinator. For data-driven decision making, again, I can ask the person to take Coursera course or Udemy course to like learn data-driven decision making. Planning and organizing, again, some courses can be assigned or the teacher can figure it out by themselves. All you have to do is set up a plan that, okay, this is the skill. You learn the skill through this medium by this month, and whatever other mentorship is required, we'll be able to provide. Responsibility, okay, whatever you have learned, now you have to guide other two people in doing the same thing. So for example, if you have learned communication or team leadership and coaching, you have to help other two teachers to do the coaching. You have to guide them through, mentor them. So in a way, whatever you have learned, you're also like practicing the same, and also like record what you have covered in the mentoring session. So along with training development, responsibility and opportunity, there would be a mentor who will be constantly supporting. So record that as well. You can also set up a participant worksheet, which is important. What they are doing, what they're learning, in which month, whether they are applying it or not. Same with opportunity, responsibility, and opportunity, whom they are mentoring, how it's going, like what they could have done better in the mentorship program when they are mentoring them, someone, and what is working in their mentorship program. What are some of the things they are looking forward to learn next time, and again followed by coordinator and mentor feedback, that how the entire teacher leadership development program, individual program is working out for the teacher. So this is something what you can use in your school as well. That set up a plan, select some teachers, put them through this plan, and prepare them for future leadership role or the current leadership roles. Or also, even if you're not assigning them leadership role, if they are getting this opportunity, there would be more collaboration, a culture of cross learning, and that will definitely benefit the school and the teachers. So I'm gonna launch another poll here to understand that which area of teacher development you think should be prioritized. So we have seen that you can do an individual development program, but which of these areas you think should be prioritized? I'm going to wait here for another like 30 seconds for you to vote. Please go ahead and vote. Like, what is the priority? To identify leadership potential, provide professional development, establishing mentorship program, offering leadership roles and responsibility. You can vote for more than one thing. So only 3 people have voted so far. Please go ahead and share, like vote. So I'm going to publish the result here. So all of them are important. It's important to identify who has potential. You're not going to be such crucial opportunity on anyone, and someone who's going to leave. Provide a professional development, establish mentorship program, and also offer leadership roles. So if you want them to retain, you have to like give them and create that opportunity for them in your school. So I'm going to quickly revise what we have covered in today's session. So we have covered about teacher leadership, like how it influences school practices, contribute in building holistic learning culture, and like it's a teacher role beyond the classroom, and how much more you can do with your teachers and help them to learn and grow, and eventually your school will grow. And some of the key characteristics which we have talked about is that would enhance the collaboration, learning, vision, and empowerment in your teachers, and like more trust from your parents. And when your teachers are demonstrating these skills, developing leadership skills in teacher enhances student learning outcome, because there's a lot of cross learning which happens among themselves, which will eventually go to the school, and the entire focus remains on the student learning outcome and collaboration and inclusivity in the classroom, and definitely benefits the classroom in long run, and the overall school reputation as well. Because if your teacher are skilled enough, they're not merely teacher and leaders, then definitely that will spread a word of mouth in the community, and impact your admission and other things. So it's important, and this is something you should definitely consider investing in. And this will also help you to deal with your retention issues. Some of the strategies which we have covered is establishing teacher professional development communities, teacher mentorship program, and a very targeted intervention through teacher leadership development program. So if you have any question, any thought till here, please feel free to share in Q&A. I'm gonna wait here for some time. If you want to raise your hand and share. Okay, someone has said that we tie up with 321 for teacher leadership program and allocate 321. Sorry, yeah, I am aware of this 321. Yeah, I think they also do this teacher leadership development program, but it's gonna be for a limited duration. What skills? You can also have your own leadership program within the school, or you can definitely have a third party involvement. And you can also use Vardhana's resources and webinars and other certification courses to guide your teacher through professional development courses. We also have that in place, and it's been we have been doing this for years. So please utilize that as well. We also have some partners, academic solution partner, that is Lead School. It helps to integrate innovative tech-based learning solution in the school. So if you are interested, please connect with us. That will also help you to have that technology integration in your school, and help your teacher to uh, go through development practices and trainings to start using these technology in the classroom. And then we also have this CAN partner. It's a fully integrated multimedia computer with a lot of data which your teachers can use. It's portable. So if you're interested in any of our programs, partner programs, you can reach out to us. Or if you have anything else you want to share, you can email us at hello@varthana.com, and this is our contact number. So I have already asked that if you have any feedback for us, please go ahead and share. But just ensure that you're filling the feedback form. Then only we'll be able to issue you the participant certificate. So I'm gonna surface this in the Q&A section. Please go ahead and fill this form. Your feedback is really valuable for us to understand that what are some of the things you want us to bring up for you in future, and also how we can improve our sessions better. So please go ahead and give the feedback. I'm gonna resurface this again. Please ensure you're filling this feedback form. I'm going to wait here for another 1 minute for you to open it and share your feedback, 1 to 2 minutes. And then we'll be sharing all the resources and templates which I have shown to you, so you can use it for your school. Please open the link and you'll be able to like fill this form later as well. Thank you for joining us today. And coming days also will be doing more webinars for you. Please stay tuned to us and you'll get all the details in your mail. Thank you, everyone. Have a good weekend.